everybody has said, we're all in the industry. Everybody has said one way or the other what ideas and what we could do. I would speak for two people. One, I'll speak for the decorators, and I'll speak like for the industry. So for decorators, we are unique kind of people. We are not as logical as like a KFA, and we are like artists. We go with the flow.
Yeah.
What inspire us, we can. So it's a bit tough, but everybody should just keep calm. It's going to be fine. No need to worry. I got a good news. One of my suppliers from Dubai sent me a text. Dragon Mart is opened. They're inviting us to come and buy. So, which means that things are going to start opening up, gradually, really soon. So that's good news. So relax, everyone. You'll be fine. Opportunities that I see, for one, even though it can be a bit disruptive too. So where people like Sapphire can have a challenge with intimate events, rightly so, because it's going to reduce income by a lot. Everybody's going to have a KFA needs volume, Eventful needs volume, all the event venues need volume. I am in love with intimate events. I'm sorry. And the reason why I say so is because it's going to position us decorators into the global market. We can focus, like if you give me an event of 100 guests, I can focus on the detailing piece by piece and execute to world-class standard. So that way, I can get a client from America. Just like Funke also said, if we convert, like you said, we convert places to tourist attractions in Nigeria, and they see the level of excellence that we can match anywhere in the world, people would gladly travel to Nigeria to do destination events. People will take us Nigerian designers to any country in the world. So for me, it's a whole new opportunity, intimate events. And again, what I realize is people sometimes don't know what they need until you show it to them. Even though those clients that will not have anything but a big party, if we can create a narrative, I know we like money, yes, but if there's a narrative and they understand the reason behind having intimate events, they will probably go for it because you can curate a whole experience. I have a particular client, his event is no more than 50. But what we do in those events, they're mind-blowing. So that's for me, that's an opportunity. Two, we can also do what we call bulk breaking. That's for decorators. Bulk breaking, you can create smaller businesses within your business, like someone said. For example, who says I can't supply only centerpieces, for an event? I don't have to do the entire event. I need to have income. And who says I can't also service my fellow events, a colleague in the industry? For example, mobile screens need flight cases to store their screens, and Eventecture can build flight cases for them instead of mobile screens importing from China. So we can also, service one another, in the business. That's another one. I also think that one idea I've been playing with, like Monica said, I think is also an opportunity for us to regularize and regulate the industry. Certification and all those things. Why? For the bigger picture. In the nearest future, I can't say 5, 10 years, I have no idea. But I believe Africa will open up to a flood of investors. It's going to be like a fertile ground. And so we want to be able to stand our ground at that time because we spent years building. So we want, for example, if you look at in Dubai, nobody can open a business in Dubai without absorbing a national of Dubai, right? So we don't want one rich American company or like a Google or a Facebook or something to set up, come into the investors in Nigeria and take over because they have purchasing power, But if you can regularize things and we can protect the future of the industry, even for post-COVID for the event, because we don't know how long social distancing is going to last. We also probably, if we're able to influence the government regulations into how they open up the industry, how they approve the gatherings. Maybe, for example, they might have decided to stay on 20 people for the next 1 year. But if we're able to convince them that, we've worked with health and safety measures and all of that, we can actually cater for 100 people safely, they'll probably buy it. and, you know, bring back the decision, things like that. So that's the little ideas I have.
At the end of it, we probably will have to put something together that will be a save our industry kind of thing, and just show that we ourselves have thought things through. And I mean, like one of the things I was saying that I said on my interview on channels is that for event venues, we may now say, look, if you say it is 250 people, once 250 people have entered, the rest will stay in their car until somebody comes out. We may now say it's only 6 people per table, and every table must be 1 meter apart. Because as I've said, social distancing will still be here for a while. So we have to be the ones to be able to come. And we need to say that, look, event venues, you must have a certain number of toilets and wash hand basins per guest. You understand? So that we're sure that people can go and wash their hands all the time. The facilities for your vendors. So these are all the kind of things we can look at. And I agree with you in terms of your intimate events. As all of us have said, there's an income dip for everybody in the world. It's not only us. No matter what business you're in, everybody is taking a dip in income over the next 6 months. So as long as we are using that time to be productive, to be creative, and to at least keep our businesses running until the time when, you know, the curve will rise again. So thank you so much, everybody, for those amazing interventions and contributions. We've gone on quite a bit. It's actually 7:15 now, and we understand that the president is going to give a speech at 8 o'clock, which we know most people will want to listen to. So we want to make sure we finish just before 8 o'clock. So I'm going to go now to the questions, and what I will do is I will take questions. In fact, some people have actually said who they'd like them to answer. I'll take the questions. I'll say who it's directed to. So if you can just give your answers, you know, very quickly, so we can take as many as possible. So the first one is, this question is to Funke Buckner and Tubosun. Following the pandemic, what changes would make to their businesses that will add value? Well, this must have come before, you know, before the opportunities, because you've answered that. You've answered that. So how do you manage a situation whereby a client cannot afford the cost of a particular service? Mind you, this is one of your best clients and you wouldn't want to lose the client. How do you manage a situation where a client cannot afford the cost of a particular service? Mind you, this is one of your best clients and you wouldn't want to lose the client. Funke, would you want to answer that quickly?
Well, it depends on the service, and it just depends on what it is. I think that this time is a time that we also need to be very empathic. We want to make money, but we also need to look at our clients, especially those that have been with us for a long time, and use this opportunity to get back, you know, help them get back, maybe get back on their feet. See, there's something I wanted to say, sorry. You see, where everybody's also saying that people are losing money, there are people that are making money during this period.
For sure.
And these people are going to also want to, you know, do some of these celebrations, whether it's intimate, you know, whether it's luxury, intimate, big intimate, however. But so what we need to do is that for any of our clients, let's try and understand, you know, where they're coming from. Have they always paid for your service? What is this service about really that you're even asking them? And just try and maybe adapt. Maybe you scale back on what you normally would offer, or you just say, you know what, I will do this for you at this time. But of course, going forward, it will be like this. So I wouldn't want you to lose such a customer, because these are the guys that keep on coming back. So you just need to look within and see how you can actually help the customer, where both of you are being sympathetic together. I think that's what I would say.
I think that's it. You have to be creative. And this is a time, I mean, I kid you not, we are going to have to take huge discounts on our fees. People are going to ask for discounts, and we are going to have to give discounts to get the business. As somebody said before, it's survival of the fittest. So if you're lucky enough to even get a gathering, whether of 20 people, you're going to have to be very, very circumspect about your fees. So how do I go about the adverts, making my customer base understand that I'm not being selfish by proposing small event gatherings that won't go contrary to the law? You're not being selfish. You're not being selfish. Okay, Debola, you were talking a lot about small gatherings, so maybe I'll have you answer that. How do I go about the adverts, making my customer base understand that I'm not being selfish by proposing small event gatherings that won't go contrary to the law? That's from Ibezim.
Okay, so I don't think you are being selfish. It depends on how your motive won. So being selfish about it is your motive. But I mean, it's what it is at the moment. You know, people can have large gatherings, so it's just you're simply addressing the need at the moment. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think it's the law, so I don't think you should have a problem, you know, telling them that. Okay, next question. Do you see the event industry sustaining this new norm or things reversing back to the status quo? That's from Kolawale. Fisaya, do you want to take that? Do you see the event industry sustaining this new norm or things reversing back to the status quo?
Okay. For me, I see things going back to the status quo. To sustain the online business at the long run is going to be challenging, like FB has pointed out earlier on. There is a lot of issues that would usually come out of these online businesses. Take, for example, the issue of when most of these businesses are transacted or conferences are being done online, people are kind of, still in that lonely mood that we're talking about, still in that isolated mood that we're still talking about. So at the end of the day, we realize as human beings, we are all social animals. We want to interact with ourselves. We want to go out. We want to step out. They're not just calling us Bling Lagos for no reason. They are not just calling us Owambe for no reason. So at the end of the day, you realize that people would want to come out and still associate, have this party, have that gathering that people are able to felicitate and enjoy one another's presence at the end of this. So invariably, I see the online thing fizzling out. Not entirely. I'm open to changes. There is even the need for us to always change the status quo and always rejig ourselves and bring ourselves to that level, international level, where we're able to say that we've arrived. But even looking at it from the point of view of the service providers, do we have the technology in terms of the service providers to be able to even keep up with the pace? At this moment, I would say no, but eventually we'll get there. So in some ways, it's going to be, we are reverting in some way, and in some ways we'll just keep up and see how, where it ends us.
Yeah, I agree with you, Fisayo. I think we are social people, and we are happy people, and we're people who love to celebrate. So I know that the minute the cure is found, we will go back to our old ways. Maybe not as such. Maybe at least all those 1,500 may not be. Maybe they will scale down to 1,000. But I don't think that we will go virtual forever. But it will not. We may now begin to have a lot of hybrid events.